Hey everybody, it's Colin here with Colin's Backstage Pass, where every week we sit down with local Lake Norman bands, venues, notable music folks. And this week I'm excited to welcome my boys from dialUp Radio. How you guys doing?
Great.
Colin?
Doing good.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming out. All right, so some folks watching may or may not know how you started. And I love asking that question. So who's going to tell the story how it started? I know there's been some changes. So who wants to start us off?
I guess I will, because I was the only one there. Yeah, back in 2017, I actually started with a Craigslist ad. I answered an ad from Rob Carr, our previous bassist. He was putting this band together, had a few guys he was playing with, and we worked it out for a little while. I wasn't able to continue when they started, so Rob took the band for about a year and a half. Then he called me up, said he was seeing if I was still interested. So he got myself, another drummer, Shandor Zatmari, who you guys probably see all over the place now. He's playing the Lake Norman area a lot.
With every band.
Yeah. And
The 50% chance he's playing with a band if a band's playing.
but yeah, we got him into the fold. He introduced us to Eck. We wrote that for a couple years, and then we made a drummer switch, and we got Brandon. It was like the missing link, and then we really started gelling. And last year, Rob decided he was going to call it quits after all the years. And we were fortunate that our buddy Matt here was available for us. We'd known Matt for years, knew he could play, knew he could sing, which we loved. And of all, he was into it. So that's the abridged version of how we got to where we are now. About 7 years now.
Craigslist was only you and the rest of it was just word of mouth. Is that what I'm hearing?
A lot of work.
Fantastic. So go around the room, guys, and just kind of tell everybody how you individually started in music. I don't think a lot of folks realize some folks it starts later. Some folks it's in, some guys it's in high school. So I kind of start the conversation and they kind of share how you got into music and what made you choose your instrument and all that stuff.
I started with that traditional piano lessons. My parents made me take piano lessons. I did it for a long time. I did it for 8 years. I was that kid who always had to be told to practice, and I never did. But then when I finally quit piano and I did pick up the guitar, I was about 13, so really a late starter. And the piano really helped, just having that background in music. But then the transition, I think, is when you pick up the guitar and that's what you like to do. No one tells you to practice. In fact, they tell you to stop playing and do something else. And then you develop your ear to a degree where I'm not a sheet music kind of guitar player at all. I try to play by ear, which I've recently learned that most of the things I learned were wrong. So I have to relearn everything. But I mean, that's how things started for me. And I played in bands through college. And I think you remember when I played with 200 Jouls back in the day around the Charlotte area. And, everything.
Get the roller. Yes, sir.
Take a hiatus from playing music. All I do is sit around and complain why I'm not playing music. If it's me, you got to do it.
Nice. Love it. Who's next?
I guess I'll go next. Go in order here. I started young. My dad plays. He's always played. He's still playing. So there's always music around me. My uncle plays. So there was always a guitar sitting around the house. I got my first guitar when I was 8. Played it for a little while. Didn't really catch the bug until I was 11 or 12 and hooked up with some friends in the area and started our first band. And I've been playing ever since. We did a bunch of original bands, and the cover band thing only really started for me when I had kids and I didn't have time for originals anymore. I didn't have the time to put into it, but it still had to play. So I was like, all right, I can learn other people's songs and play that. And it's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun.
When did you realize you could sing?
I'm still working on that.
This is a good story, actually.
Well, so back in, it was probably 2010, I was trying to join a band that I could just sit in the back and play my guitar, and met up with some friends. We put a band together and we got a singer, which was great. We pulled him in. He was dragging his feet. He's like, I really don't want to do this that much. He's like, but you guys are good. Let's do it. So we played a show with him and it was great. Everybody loved us. They booked us for all these shows. And then he sent us a Dear John letter on Monday saying, I really don't want to do this. So we looked for the next 5 or 6 months to get a singer, did tons of auditions. And the guys just said, hey, if we're ever going to play at all, you got to sing, just sing. I'm like, but I'm not a singer. So it's been an adjustment. But the nice thing is we're 3 singers. So we're a bunch of guitar players who don't sing, but it's just how to do. Yeah.
Right. Well, no, it works. And I think that's cool that you guys put that out there. 3 singers, 2 lead guitars, and a monster drummer.
It's the monster.
So, Monster, you're up, buddy.
Well, I got started. My brother was in marching band when I was younger in the North Iredell area. And I just remember him always doing that. And I just would take the sticks from time to time, beat on pillows, beat on the bed. And I don't know why. I just wanted to do it while listening to music. So eventually, I think I was about 18 and I bought a drum set. My first drum set, it was a piece of crap, but it was great to me. I set it up and all I did was play, man. I would just put my hands on, do my best to try to teach myself how to play. I never did take lessons or do any formal stuff, but that was pretty much it. I taught myself through repetition and formed a couple bands here and there. And then I think it was 2021, I heard from Jay via Band Mix, and I had been on that site forever and never had any hits or anything like that. And then I was like, oh, it's just down. Oh, whatever. So I responded for the heck of it. Voila, here we are.
That's awesome. So you didn't have YouTube back then, did you?
No.
See, I'm starting to play. I'm starting to play drums, and all I'm doing is watching drummers, making sure I've got the window for the feet and both hands and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't read a lick of music either, so I'm right there with some of you guys. So
Really
that's awesome.
cool. I use it to this day to make sure I'm not right.
I started.
Next, sir. Yes.
Started in piano lessons. I don't remember exactly what age, but I got my first guitar about 13. I just got to wear the stuff I was bringing in. I was bringing in like Ted Nugent and things like that on piano. My teacher's like, into the guitar. Yeah.
I don't remember too many piano solos in the Ted Nugent song.
Yeah. That's
I'm sure everybody knows Matt is primarily a guitar player, right? He's got his solo gig that he does a lot more than he plays with us, and go check him out. He's awesome.
Awesome. We'll put the links in the bottom there for you. Let everybody see. So you guys get together, and obviously, 3 of you sing. Who decides on the songs? How do you guys figure out what music you want to play? Is it, I heard it on the radio yesterday, and let's see how this sounds, or how does it kind of come to you guys?
I think we all contribute in that we'll just either via text thread or practice. Hey man, I was thinking about this. I heard this song the other day, or for whatever reason they stick something. We'll see how it sounds. And we usually give it a good college try. And if it sounds pretty good or it's pretty close, we kind of stick with it. And then of course we test it out with people. And if they like it, they get to keep hearing it. If not, that goes into consideration as well. But
There's definitely been a couple one and dones.
Yeah.
And that seemed like a great idea. We learned it. We're like, that one's such a good thing.
Yeah, but some will be from requests that we hear from the crowd. Some will be something as goofy as in between songs while somebody's tuning. I'll just play a little riff real quick to see if anybody goes, ooh. I was like, hey, a couple people, it's awesome. That. So we'll try that. It started out being really important that we like the song as much as the crowd does, right? Because ideally it's all for the crowd, but let's be honest, we want to enjoy it. So a lot of it is just that. It's a feel thing. Sometimes we'll hear a song on there. One of the ones we did not too long ago, one of the newer songs I heard on the radio, I hadn't heard it in 30 years. I never liked it then. I didn't think much of it now. I said, man, that sounds like a dial-up tune. It just sounds like a tune that we would do. So we learned it. There's really no rhyme or reason. We just need a couple of us to want to do it. That's an trial.
Last week was interesting because we got together to practice because we had a show last Friday and we got together and, Ozzy Osbourne just died. So what did we do? We played Ozzy for 4 hours and how all those songs ended up in the set. The songs that we never played before, we're like, well, we got to do them. We got to do something for Ozzy, right? So
no, that's perfect. I mean, that's everyone's doing it too. Not to say it's a Me Too thing, but it's important to give him the credit that he did in his life. I mean, I think that's important that bands do that right now. I think he lived more people than anybody thought.
Right. Yeah, we don't want to do something if we can't do it well.
No, I get that, and I love the diversity of music that you guys play. Obviously, I pick you guys as pretty often, and I'm trying to find new videos. So I'm going to ask you on air, get some new videos so I can include some new stuff.
You hear that, audience? You hear that?
Right. And so I think that's awesome. But I think, every once in a while, get somebody out there with something on a tripod and lock it down, even if it's not the whole night, get it, a couple minutes here and there, because that's one of the things I want to talk to you guys about is, some of the venues are really looking for new talent. And I know you guys are playing a lot up here, but are there locations across Charlotte, or is this, are you interested in playing parts of Charlotte, or kind of take me through that mindset?
Yeah, I think we're looking to, not so much looking to spread out, but we're not looking to stay close. We've been slowly pushing the boundaries a little bit. We're all full-time employees, got full-time parents that, life, right? So in the beginning, it was really important to me, at least, I want to speak for everybody, that it didn't become a job. And sometimes those long drives, it starts feeling, with previous bands, it started feeling like work. So I was really trying to be careful about that. But we're definitely starting to push out a little farther. We've got our first show at Novel Tap Room Friday, which isn't necessarily far, but for us, that's a lot farther than a lot of the places.
45-minute drive.
Yeah.
At 1 o'clock in the morning when you're breaking down, right?
Yeah,
I hear you.
so we got that, Stooges. We did play Amos's a while back with Blue Monday. That was a fun show, but we don't look real hard for new venues. We stopped looking, and luckily they've been coming to us. So it's been a decent situation. We're about as booked as we can be right now, comfortably. Yeah. So now if Charlotte calls and wants us, we'll get it.
Yeah, and I think that's great. That's the challenge when I talk to a lot of bands is some of the guys want to play a lot, some of them don't want to play so much. So is it 2 shows? Is it 3 shows? Is it 6? Is it Friday and Saturday? Or we're never going to do both back to back. Those conversations you have to have early. And part of what I try to get from bands is how you guys figure all that stuff out. And you talk about loving the music. Certainly you got to do that, but you got to like each other too. So what's the relationship situation with you guys? How you guys, always hanging out, or not after a show, or how does that work?
Well, like he says, life gets in the way a lot, vacations, family time, things like that. But we try to make it a point to get out as much as possible and see local talent, hang out, conversate, catch outsider music as well, and definitely try to support the local scene as much as they've supported us. And yeah, we're all very close. I think we never really dispute anything. We never have any issues. Like, if the song doesn't work, it doesn't work. We're pretty easy going, man. Honestly, I've been in a few bands in my lifetime. This probably has to be the most seamless as far as communication, work ethic, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'd have to say that's probably one of my favorite things about particularly the Lake Norman music scene, is how much support other bands give each other. I mean, it's always surprising to us. Any given show that we play, there'll be 3, 4, 5 other bands out there to see us, and they're always supportive, and we feel that we want to go see them. We want to support them as well, and there's a lot of reciprocity between the bands. It's almost like an abundance mindset. I don't think anybody wants to protect their venues and not being friendly with other bands. We sat in with other bands. They sat in with us. People come up from other bands and sing songs with us, and I think that's great.
If we're lucky to be able to do something we enjoy, and even more lucky that people come out and enjoy it with us. So it's awesome. This group here is, to me, they're like family. He's down playing. Come on, we do holidays together. We get the kids together. We have pool parties together. It's as corny as it is, it's good. If this wasn't tight, it would show on stage.
Sure, 100%. And I'm sure you've all been to shows when the band, you can tell something's going on. And then it doesn't take long, and then so-and-so is not the singer, and so-and-so is not the drummer, and so-and-so is not the guitar player. And you're like, oh, okay. And that takes some time. I got to believe, Justin, with all the changes you've seen, being kind of the original member here, every time a new person joins, there's a little bit of transition time, I got to believe, right?
Well, yeah, and I'm not the original. That was before it was official. So I'm not original. I don't.
Okay. Well, you're the most original of the 4. Right?
Hey. But yeah, it's the last thing any band wants to do. I think it's the last thing I ever want to do is swap somebody out. It's hard. Even when it's for the better, it's hard. But
yeah, I think that has a lot to do with like your stage presence. I don't think any of us are really like showmen, but when you come to see a band, you come to see us, and we're having fun. We're having fun with each other. There could be 600 people out there, or there could be 6, and we still find a way to make that the greatest time that we're going to have.
That's my favorite compliment that we get from the crowd. You guys look like you're having fun. You are.
Yeah. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's still about the music and how much we love to play it, right? There's a lot of amazing musicians in the area.
Yeah.
fine.
And that's exactly why I do this, and I do the picks every week, because I don't think the average person, we all know who the music people are that come out to all the shows, right? To all the venues. You know who you're going to see, half the time. The Karens and the Amy's of the world. We love them, right? When they show up at your show, you are the top of the list that week, right? So, but I think as I'm in my 50s now, and I was a Rudder guy, and there were bands, flowing through there. We also had Midtown Sundries, and then we had City Tavern. I mean, there was bands playing every night, every week, just like it's becoming again. But I look around, and I would say most of the music that's being played is 70s, 80s, 90s. And the 20-somethings are coming out now, right? And they know the words.
Yes.
And not just the Don't Stop Believing. They know a lot of the other stuff, right? And so does that have any impact on the music you guys are picking? Or are you just playing what you love and going from there?
Well, definitely. We can even feel it from room to room that we play too. The audiences differ a little, and we'll tailor it based on that. It takes us a few tries to get a feel for a room. But yeah, we certainly take that into consideration when we're putting the set list together. We have probably about 150 songs that we've played over the past few years, and we try to rotate them pretty often, like as much as we can. And a lot of that has to do with where we're playing and what we saw the last time we were there.
Yeah.
So
I think it's safe to say, just with the music that's out, there's a healthy 25% of our set list that you're going to hear at everyone's other people's show too. And but I think we put some thought into trying to play things that no one else does, just to make us more unique.
Yeah. And I think that's important. That's why you guys have been so successful, is because if you're going to go to a show and not hear the same exact songs every set, people get tired of the same ones over and over again, especially if it's the band they just heard yesterday at the other place, right? And so that's why I commend you guys for really diversifying the set list. But I guess also, as a non-musician, or wanting to be one in my head, you got to remember a lot of stuff. So I asked this in bands all the time, like, what's your brain? Are you playing and singing in your dreams? Like, how do you guys handle all that?
we don't remember lyrics. I don't remember lyrics. It'll never happen. And we have even with the little teleprompter in front, that sometimes makes it even worse.
Cheat sheets out there that
Yeah.
try to keep it down on the floor off to the side.
You don't have to share those secrets. That's okay. I can
That's
just
not the
cut that
secret.
out.
No, the secret, brother. It's right there.
Even then, it doesn't help sometimes.
But it's interesting that we both use, Matt doesn't, but we
His brain still holds things in.
Yeah, I think he's
when he hits 40, it's going to fall apart. You know how that works. But no, we do have lyric helpers, but we never have music helpers. The music part seems to be the easier part. And we're not playing Rush every night, so it's not the most technical stuff in the world. There's
You're
usually,
welcome.
yeah. But in a given set list, there's 5 or 6 songs that are technical enough where, I have to play them and practice them before a show to give myself a chance of not screwing it up, for sure.
Keeps it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we like to challenge ourselves too. And we talked about the audience getting bored with your set list. We're the first ones that are going to get bored with it, because even people who come and see us 90% of the time, we hear it 100% of the time, and we hear it at practice, and we practice it at home. So before anyone gets sick of any song we play, we're ready. Whoa.
Practice.
No, I get it. And I think that's important. I can only imagine being, a national act or, a tribute where you have to play the same, 2 hours of music over and over again, right? At least you guys can mix it up. And I'm not poo-pooing the tributes. I mean, my guys,
You play
rattling
out.
on
Yeah.
a little.
Well, there's a different perk there. It's make it more enjoyable.
Yeah, you know what you're in for, and that's what people want to hear. But I got to be honest, as good as some of the tributes do, I still feel like covers do better. Because unless you're just a hard fan of a certain band and that's all you want to hear, I think, especially folks my age, I want to hear different stuff. And again, my guys are around all the time. We play U2 for 2 hours. I mean, that's what it is. But when they're euphonic, they get to play whatever they want.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes they lean in that direction because it's a little bit easier. But I appreciate the diversity, like I said. So if you're going to talk to
you bands, I mean, it's funny because we've opened for a bunch of tribute bands, namely at Boatyard a lot. And I tell you, I think at least one person every one of those shows has come up and said something like, man, you guys should just be playing because you play all this stuff. They only play one thing. And I typically have to correct them and say, but you knew that. You bought me for this through. What did you think they were going to play? But
I just see you either tribute one band a night or you tribute 53.
yeah.
Or however long our set lists are a night.
Right. Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
That's true.
We
Absolutely.
don't look at anybody that would work. Otherwise, we do tribute band right away.
That's-
Wigs.
yeah.
Yeah, wigs and makeup will do it every time, right? So if you were going to tell the next generation of bands, and I just met with the I call them kids still. I'm always going to call them kids, the kids from Unknown Artists, because I've known them since they were in high school. Right. I love those guys, and they truly have taken that to heart. You know, the 70s and 80s, the hard rock stuff, right? And the other youngsters like the Paytons and the Brook Lees that all grew up in this area. But the next generation that are over at the School of Rock here in Cornelius, and they're like, I want to be in a band. Each one of you, I'd like you to give them some advice.
You got to start on that end. I got to think about it.
I wasn't trying to make them hard.
I think a big part of it with just being involved with music in any aspect is just interacting with your crowd and your followers. And that's not always easy because I'm an introvert that I really don't like to. That's a hard thing for me to do, but you have to get outside of your comfort zone and make sure you're going and meeting people and talking to the people that come out to see you each week. And that's probably be the big thing I have.
It would be something along the lines of always stay in love with the music and remember why you do it. Don't let anything get in front of that. And don't be afraid to try to play reggae or jazz or bluegrass. Push yourself and push your boundaries and push your comfort zone so that you grow as a musician. And don't ever be afraid to let that be the best part of it.
Yeah, my advice would be find others to play with as soon as possible. When I was growing up and learning on my guitar, when I woke up, I ran to school, ran home, threw the book back down, and I played until my parent made me go to bed. But I didn't really start getting all in and really improving until I ran into my old buddy from Little League who said, hey, didn't you say you play guitar? I play drums. Ride your bike over here with me.
Nice.
And then it was just great. I have that same conversation with my son too. His drummer, he's been playing drums for years since he was like 7 or something and has a lot of fun with it. But he's jamming with his old man. Get out there and play with some other kids. And he's just getting hooked up with that now again with some other people. And you could just see it. It's a different energy and it's fun. It just, some of the best moments of my life came from music and the people I met through music. And that continues to this day. So yeah, just do it. I couldn't imagine life without it.
I should have went first because those are great things to say. But I think same thing that Jason said. I think it's important. You can sit in your room and play by yourself, but until you play with others, you're not going to get that vibe. You're not going to learn how to play off of somebody. It's a communication without saying a word. We all talk on stage, and it takes one look, one kind of wink of the eye, or even the way you play something, and it has meaning when you're up there playing with someone because it's a communication. And I think bands that play well continue to communicate when they're on stage with. Yeah, like my son is a budding guitarist and he's very good. But I keep telling him, I'm like, dude, play with some other people. Get out there. Feel what it plays like with other people. And you don't have to play with guys who are great or guys who are better than you. There's different forms of talent too, where, you can learn. Maybe someone's not as technically sound as you would be, but maybe they're a great songwriter, maybe they're a great singer, maybe they are good at making arrangements and stuff like that. So you can always learn something from almost any level of musician that you play with.
Sure.
And it's fun. It's fun. That's why we do it.
So are you or Jason's son going to start a band, you think?
Sammy and Tyler?
That would be good. Actually, that would be really good.
We get John in there too, my other son.
Yeah.
Music that they...
What better way to start than guys that are already connected to the family, so to speak, right? So, yeah. That'd be cool.
Using our gear.
Yeah, they use that gear, steal my guitars. But, it's great because they actually play all the music that we play. Maybe I sound like an old guy, but that's great music. It took a while for him to grow up and go, that's cool. That's what I want to do. I want to learn that song right there. The one that you've been struggling with. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I say this all the time. I worry about this next generation of musicians because if they're not going to play 70s, 80s, 90s, what else is there?
What is there?
Is there a 2010 band that you would tribute. I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same kind of music. I know we're all the old guys on this right now, but I really wonder what's going to happen in 20 years. What are the bands going to play? It's got to be this old stuff.
It's a different world, man, for sure. I feel bad. My kids missed out on the days of waiting in line to get that album that just came out and running home and listening to the whole thing. Yeah, it's a different time for sure.
Yeah, I think that speaks volumes about how accompanied with music was. Those generational talents and all that music that people love so much still to this day. It's definitely withstanding the test of time, and it was so special, at least in my mind, and I'm sure in a lot of others, how great that music was.
I mean, growing up in the 80s what else was there? Was music. You know, we were it was the club. Do we even call bars clubs anymore? Because people dance, but you know what I mean? It's not like the club back in the day when DJs were playing the same music that was out there, but it's a different time for sure. And I appreciate that you guys keep that going. And that's really important, not just to our generation, but obviously to your kids. I mean, they're watching you do this and they're wanting to pick up the instrument and play. I think that's rock solid. So
we need that younger generation to pick it up and carry it on.
Music.
Right.
Music is definitely one of the most amazing gifts that life has to offer. So I encourage anyone and everyone to get involved.
Yeah.
However,
and you can't AI that.
Yeah.
It ain't the same, that's for sure.
No, absolutely.
Mistakes.
We only got about a minute and a half. I told you guys this was going to go quick. We're almost done. What would you tell I'm going to do this anyway. What are you going to tell your 20-year-old self about what you should or shouldn't do, or what advice would you give your 20-year-old self? 30 seconds each.
I'll stick to music. For sure.
But there were times I was in bands, and there were times I took breaks away from bands. Every time I took a break away from a band, all I did was complain that I wasn't playing anymore. But I had a bad habit of not doing anything about it. I mean, if you want to play, do it. Be proactive about it. There's other guys that are just like you who want to keep playing. Don't put it down because you're complacent about it.
Right. I love it.
My 20-year-old son, I actually have no idea. I'm sitting there, I was hoping someone would come along. I would say, hey, buddy, you won't believe this, but you're going to play Poison one day. People are going to dig it, and you're going to have fun doing it.
More to life than Metallica, right?
That's it.
me, I'd say go to Nashville. Just hit the road, go play with anyone, everyone. Just meet, network, just play. But don't waste a second to not playing because you can't do it forever.
Love it.
I would
All right, take us home, big boy.
I tell him I'll practice a lot more. And not to get frustrated and get caught up in the comparison thing of looking at other musicians or looking at it as a competition or anything like that, because you'll drive yourself crazy when you do that. So
Yeah, it ain't a competition.
yeah.
Gotcha. Absolutely. We can all eat, right? Especially up here. So I appreciate that you guys kind of touched on that too. Well, gents, this has been an honor and a privilege to have you. It's fantastic. I want to encourage everybody to get out on Facebook and check out dialUp Radio. Check them out, dialupradio.com, right? And come out and see some shows. Okay, good. Sorry, I should have checked on that before.
That's all right.
I got your Facebook page up. That's what was in front of me. But thank you guys for coming out. And again, everybody get out there and check them out. And we'll see you at the next show.